He joins us now, Jay Ducote, who has made a heck of a name for himself. Went on Food Network Star and was one of the last ones in that group. He went back on. He's been on Food Network multiple times. He beat Bobby Flay on Beat Bobby Flay, and now has kind of developed a little bit of a burgeoning empire down in South Louisiana. Got his own radio show. He's got his own line of just about anything you want, sauces and mustards and wines and rubs and everything. He is Jay Ducote from down in Baton Rouge, also the guy who runs Government Taco down there. Jay, how the heck are you, man?
Patrick, I'm trying to do it all, man. I'm doing well. Baton Rouge is treating me fantastically these days.
All right, let's go back to Food Network Star, because that's kind of where you got your start, so people kind of know your bona fides. Tell me about how that came down and what that experience was like.
Well, so yeah, I did Food Network Star in 2015. It was season 11 of Food Network Star. I got cast, but it was not a quick and easy process. It actually, I auditioned and got pretty far in the casting process for season 10 and didn't get on the show. And then they actually invited me back to try again for season 11, but kind of in a way that they already knew who I was and what I brought to the table. So they kind of gave me a speed pass through and ended up getting on the cast. All of that is pretty intense and pretty crazy what you have to go through to get there. And the casting process is insane. But then once you get there, you know, fly out to Los Angeles, get holed up in a hotel room, get cut off from your phone or internet access. They took the TV power cords off of our TVs in the hotel room. And we're just kind of isolated.
Yeah.
And then you get to the TV set, and there's cameras, and there's Bobby Flay and Giada, and all these contestants that you truly meet for the first time on camera. And they make it intimidating, but I kind of always looked at it as if you can't find a way to have fun doing this, then you don't want this as your career. So I just made sure that I had fun along the way, and every step along the way, no matter what the challenge was, I just kind of said, you know, this has to be fun, or there's no reason to be here doing it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. How did you get into cooking? What was kind of your entree into it? I know a lot of times it's a parent or something like that. How did you get into this?
Throwing tailgate parties for LSU football.
There you
That's
go.
Absolutely how I learned to cook, and my cooking style is completely derived from LSU tailgate parties. My freshman year at LSU, my cousin handed me our grandfather's old barbecue utensils and just said, "Here, freshman, you're in charge of the grill." And I just started manning the grill, and then we worked it up to outdoor deep fryers and huge cast iron pots and legit barbecue smokers, and just really kind of anything that we could do as college kids, and then through grad school to feed 200 or 300 tailgating college students, and their parents would come through. I mean, we put on a show, and it was really those experiences of tailgating that formed the foundation of my culinary career. But I never went to culinary school. I got degrees in economics and political science, masters in political science, taught high school math and coached baseball for 2 years, then got a job working for the state of Louisiana doing policy research and grant writing. And I actually got into food professionally through writing and radio and then TV, and then really as a chef that was truly cooking food that was sold to the public in any way. And I started that through more like pop-up dinners and private chef events and things along those lines, not really as a restaurant chef. I've never actually been employed as a restaurant chef, even Government Taco now under my umbrella, but I employ chefs to truly run that, so I can be out doing radio and filming and writing and the JD's product line and all those other things that I do.
That's pretty amazing. Talking to Jay Ducote from down in Baton Rouge, and by the way, afternoon show down in Baton Rouge, 107.3, the Jay Ducote Show. If you want to check that out, I'm assuming Jay, we can catch that online. I'm sure you got a presence that way.
Yep. It's all with Guarantee Media in Baton Rouge. Talk 107.3 is the radio station here. Talk1073.com it'll be streaming, or you can download the Talk 107.3 app and listen from anywhere on your smartphone.
So how does the guy who, as you said, you start cooking for tailgates, basically, you don't have the cordon bleu background that a lot of you see these sort of pretentious chefs have. How does that guy end up with a line of rubs and sauces and you name it? I mean, you're kind of in everything. How do you go about creating these kind of things? Is it all just taste and kind of feel for you?
Yeah, a lot of it is, for sure. A lot of it has just been taking the experiences that I have had, and those culinary school trained chefs don't have the experience that I had doing competition barbecue and doing LSU tailgate parties. A lot of them they would run circles around me in a restaurant kitchen cranking out an actual 100-person dinner service. But if they were asked to do a tailgate party for 300 people, they would really struggle, just not knowing how to cook with that kind of equipment and what the quantities and ratios are and things like that. So there's just different styles of cooking, and I learned to cook one way, and it's worked out well for me to just kind of embrace that, and that's the kind of food that I love and enjoy. And really, what I found is that I just truly love celebrating culture of food, and I love looking at people. And when I travel and whenever I get to experience different things, I do a lot of it through the lens of what I'm eating and drinking, the lens of food and beverage. And it just kind of has been a fascinating journey for me. And I found something that I was truly passionate about and wanted to continue to learn as much as I could along the way.
You went on Food Network Star, as I mentioned, you got towards the end, and then you come back for Beat Bobby Flay, and you challenged him. For those that haven't watched the show, I love it. It's one of my favorite shows on television. Basically, you get contestants who come in, they battle each other with whatever Bobby Flay wants them to cook, and then whoever the winner of that one is battles Bobby Flay in a food of their choice to try to beat him. You chose crawfish, which makes a lot of sense, but was there a nervousness there that if Bobby Flay beats you in crawfish that you may not be able to get back to the state of Louisiana?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was a high risk, high reward. I have always thought that if you challenge Bobby to something that he has cooked a bunch of times before or that he is truly familiar with, you're going to have a hard time beating him. That guy is world class. He's really good at what he does. He's so experienced in that kind of competition cooking. That's his kitchen that you're cooking in. He's got the home field advantage and just the experience advantage. I wanted to throw out a Louisiana dish that I really kind of thought he probably hasn't cooked before. Even if he's eaten it, he probably hadn't cooked. And I was pretty sure that he's cooked all sorts of gumbos and jambalayas and etouffees just from other Beat Bobby Flay episodes or just from other worldly experiences. But boiling live crawfish like we do every spring in our backyards here was probably something that he hadn't done. And it's also so hard to make that a fine dining restaurant chef dish. Yeah. Even restaurants in Louisiana that serve boiled crawfish still ultimately just dump them on a tray and put them in front of you, right? I mean, it's a home cook, backyard cook kind of a meal. And if I was going to challenge Bobby Flay to something, I wanted it to be that kind of, tailgating, backyard cook kind of a dish, and not something that he could fancy up and make it appropriate for white tablecloths and beat me that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, if someone tried to serve me fancy crawfish, I'd just probably walk out of the restaurant, to be honest with you. I would think they didn't know what they're doing if they're trying to serve it to me in any kind of a fancy style, that's for sure. Yeah,
right,
Jay,
right. He tried. He made his corn and potato salad a little fancy, but it didn't actually work.
No, and again, it's not a fancy dish to be serving. Jay, I part of the reason I wanted to have you on is because we're right around the Super Bowl, and obviously Super Bowl parties are a big thing. And you being a former tailgate cook, and that kind of where you got your start, I would imagine do you throw a Super Bowl party? Is that something you do? Do you go to other people's parties? What do you do for Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, this year I'm going to be heading to one of my favorite watering holes, Brickyard South here in Baton Rouge. They've got a little chicken wing cook-off going on, and I'm just going to get to go hang out and drink a few beers and eat some chicken wings.
Good life.
Wings are one of my favorite football dishes by all means, and I love doing that. I think also in Louisiana, another great thing for Super Bowl party trays is just go get a bunch of boudin and sausage and throw out some of my Louisiana molasses mustard or some other dips like that, and just go to town. It's culturally relevant and easy and really good on the grill or coming off a smoker.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think a friend's house is always a good way to go. Sunday nights for the Super Bowl, sometimes you don't want to necessarily always be out at bars and restaurants. And depending on the kids and things like that some people have, not me, but some people, you might need to stay home, but there's still lots of ways to throw a fun Super Bowl party.
Yeah, I always host a Super Bowl party. I have for about 15 years, and it's never anything like I cook, but it's never anything too crazy. I try to do simple recipes that people would enjoy, and sometimes it's just, hey, throw some bagel bites on a tray, and heat those up in the oven. But I'm curious, what's your go-to when you, like you said, if you're hosting 12 people or 300 people for a football game, do you have a go-to that you like to go to immediately?
I love barbecuing, and my I've got numerous barbecue pits in my backyard. If I'm trying to feed a lot of people, I love doing some pulled pork. Get some pork shoulders going with my barbecue rub and just kind of smoking that for a while. I'm a big ribs guy. I love pork ribs, and those you can cook a little bit faster as well. Still need some time on the smoke, but not as much as pulled pork does. So I love doing that when I have a bunch of people over, and I'm going to take the time to really cook some stuff. Like I mentioned, chicken wings for the big game, and you just can't go wrong with that. And I love doing wings all the time. Do some with a dry rub, do some with some wet sauces, make some super spicy, make some just kind of medium, but really just have fun playing around with it.
No doubt about that. And what I need to know is, the next time you're doing barbecue, I need an invite, man, because Daniel Vaughn in Texas Monthly called me noted barbecue hound Patrick Netherton, which I consider one of the greatest badges of pride I've ever had in my entire life. But I mean,
wow, congratulations!
Yeah. Well, thanks. He actually came up to Shreveport, and we went and did a whole thing. But that being said, I know jducote.com is where you can find a lot of stuff. Is that the best place for us to go to find your stuff, or is it in stores up here in Shreveport?
It's not going to be any stores in the Shreveport area yet. I would really like to make that happen, and if anybody up there has any good contacts with some food distributors in the area, that would be great. But right now, to get it up in the Shreveport area, jducote.com is going to be your best bet. That's
JAYDUCOTE.com, by the way, for Jay Ducote. And finally, Jay, before I let you go, man, what's next? You've got your hand in seemingly everything. You're in radio, you've been in television, you got your product line, you got everything going. Is there another realm that you're looking to conquer, or are you feeling pretty good about where you're at?
Well, the next thing is going to be Government Taco. So we started Government Taco a little over a year and a half ago inside White Star Market here in Baton Rouge, Mid-City Food Hall. That's done really well so far. But by this summer, we're actually going to be graduating from the food hall and moving into our own brick-and-mortar location that is going to have an expanded menu, a full bar, and really the ability to up our catering offerings. And so that's kind of the next big project is an actual full-on restaurant rather than just the booth at the food hall, and get that going and then figure out what's next from there. That's
beautiful, man. Look, you and I kind of look alike a little bit. I think you're the more handsome, accomplished of the two of us. I'm not just blowing smoke up your skirt. You're obviously the more accomplished of the two of us. I'm not sure if you're the more handsome of the two of us, but that's that's a debate for another time.
We'll let the ladies decide that.
That's true. Well, right now, according to my dating life, they've decided no. So,
Hey, we're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, man, I'm very excited for your success and what you've been doing. And look, I got some friends that are in the industry. I'll give you a holler, see if we can't get some of that JD stuff up here in the Shreveport market, all right?
Sounds like a plan. Really appreciate it. You guys have a good show, good rest of the show, and a good Super Bowl weekend.
Hey, you too, man. Thank you much.